Today, I'm going to show you all how I manage to stay on top of anything AI related in this space. Now, I use a platform called Zapier, and I've created an agent that essentially sends me an email every single day so that I can actually read that and stay on top of any discoveries that have taken place within the last 24 hours. So I'm going to dive right into this. I just go onto Zapier.com. You can make an account quite simply or sign up using Google. And then I go into assets. Once you click that, you'll see this drop down. And then I go into agents. Now, once I'm in agents, I'm actually able to see any of the agents I've already created. I'm going to dive into the one I use quite frequently. It's saying no runs yet because I recently just updated it, but I do get an email every single day with this. So I'm just going to click on this and show you all exactly what I get. So as you can see, here are the instructions that I've asked it to follow. So research the latest developments in the AI space that can immediately be actioned to provide entrepreneurs with an unfair advantage. And you can basically just read the rest of this. So I simply connected my Gmail, right? It's very simple to do. You just need to click on add tool, and then you can select Gmail, or you can even select Outlook, or any other email provider. The thousands of apps and integrations here. So there's a high likelihood whatever you want to connect will be here. So I've even given it the sort of rhetoric, how I want it to be. So there's a preacher, prophet quality in the cadence. So yeah, built on binary framing, all this kind of stuff. And then one important part is I've actually selected how I want the email to be formatted. Now, putting it in an HTML format allows you to make sure the output looks like readable information as opposed to any just sort of AI generated content that would have things like asterisks, almost like it's in a markdown file. So this is just to fix that. You can do that once again by making sure the email is sent in HTML format. Ultimately, what I'd recommend is just pause the video, read through what I've got here because it is quite extensive. You can expand this section here if you want as well. Important thing to note is that the trigger as well has neatly been set to 5 a.m. every day. So that's when I get the emails. Sometimes a few minutes past, but it's usually around 5 a.m. And then I've got the list of tools that this agent can actually use. So it can visit websites and do web search, and then it can send an email to my email, essentially with all the information it's discovered. And once you publish that, you'll be able to see that. So if I go on, click on activity, then you'll also be able to see all the activity that the agent has actually all the activity that the agent has actually done. So I can see I've got this here. So this was today. Okay, cool. So it's saying I now have comprehensive rich data. Let me compile everything and send it in the email. So yeah, this was today's one. Cool. So it's saying, let's see what it's got here. So ultimately I do get these emails pretty much every day. I'm pretty sure I got it today as well. So yeah, definitely check this out. I think if I go into my activity, let's see, I'm pretty sure I got it today, so I'm just going to double check this. Not sure why this is going on here. In fact, I'm just going to try and say yes, continue, because as you can see here, I've only got I've still got about 30% or so I've still got 127 more activities available. And yeah, like I mentioned, this doesn't cost me anything to run. Pretty much gets sent to me every single day. So I'm just going to go and check my emails to make sure I got sent this today. Here's a quick view of what the output actually looks like. So as you can see, this is an email I got sent. So I essentially send it from myself to myself. You can see it's actually giving me a breakdown of the key things that have been happening recently in the space. So Google YYYY research, $1 trillion agentic commerce shift. MCP now hits 97 million installs. Ultimately, it is the new plumbing of AI automations. GPT 5.4 surpasses humans on desktop tasks, which is quite interesting. AI traffic converts 42% better. The new customer acquisition channel that nobody is optimizing for. Right now, this is something I've also been speaking about quite a bit. Amazon Connect expanding to 4 agentic business solutions. The AI teammate era is here. So as you can see, we've got quite a lot of interesting things about everything that's going on in the space right now. So AI compute costs now exceed workforce costs, which is quite interesting. The chatbot conversations are not attorney-client privilege, very important to know. And yeah, we've got this list of categorized tools and references, as well as a tweet, which I often ask for. So it's something I could use, I could post if I wanted to, or it could just give me an idea of what sort of content to make. So if we go back here, I think what I've realized is that the area I'm receiving here is that it's actually reached a maximum output limit for this response, which I guess was happening at random intervals, but this actually worked for the most part. But what I can simply do is I can copy this and I can just edit to the agent to make sure it doesn't hit this sort of limit again. So it's even given me another sort of error here. So make sure there aren't more than 10 activities per run. So what I can do now is I can just go back into this. I'll also just, I'll add this new section here. So I'll say, make sure you don't hit the limit for your responses. Cool. And I'll say also make sure you don't do, let's say, any more than 8 activities per run, because I believe that's another limitation on the free plan. So now I'm just going to click publish on this, and then that's going to update. But yeah, I think I definitely receive this email at least 95% of the time, every single day. If you want to change the frequency to make sure it's like something, I guess it's probably less likely to hit the limit on the free plan, then you could make it every week or every few days. But yeah, I think this is a great way to set up a free tool and also start to understand how agents and automations work, so that you can also stay on top of any sort of research relevant to your space. So what I'll do is I'll actually just leave this up on here. I'll also copy and paste this in the description. So what you can do is you can just copy and paste that into your LLM of choice and say, update this, these instructions so it's more relevant to what I do for work. Your LLM of choice should already know, but then if not, you can just quickly describe it.